Hi, everybody. Welcome to the next episode of Catching Up. My name is John Benninger, and today we're going to be catching up with a good friend and colleague of mine, Shaheen Majeed, the president worldwide for Sabinsa Corporation, based out of India, but with offices throughout the world. Shaheen, welcome to the show.
Thank you, John. It's great to be here. It's great to see you.
Yeah, it's been too long, not just because of all this craziness going on in the world, but with you in India and me here in the States, we don't get to see each other as often as we'd like. It was great to see you at Expo West, or what was going to be Expo West, because you and I arrived right before the event obviously was canceled.
That's right. We just had a few hours, and boy, what a shell shock. And you probably know what transpired soon after that. For myself here, and I'm just going to jump in and talk a little bit about this, but a few days after that, India suspended all foreign visas, and I'm on an OCI, so I'm a U.S. citizen, and I've been living here in India for the last 4 years with my family, and it's been great. But as you know, I travel to all the Sabinsa, so get to see you guys, get to see a lot of customers and so forth. But I need that OCI, to get into India. And on March 11th, they declared on 2 days later, March 13th, that it's suspended. Fortunately, with the help of my father, we got back in early morning hours of the 13th. We were one of the last few flights from foreign nations that could land here, and just made the cutoff. Now, India didn't go into a lockdown immediately, but they were kind of helping to kind of sort out the situation early on with foreign flights coming in and foreigners and separating that. And I just got caught up in that, but just in the nick of time, I made it, man. So it was great to see you and a couple of other folks. And I did get to stop in to see some customers in California. Some quick feedback from them. So that's always great. But boy, to get back home and be with family, what that's like. So. That's certainly appreciative of that right now, and grateful to be home and be with family in these difficult times. So speaking of that, how are you? How are the rest of the wonderful people there at Sabinsa, both in India and in Utah and in New Jersey and around the world? Yeah, we're dealing with a lot of unknown routines, right? This is all new for us. Family-wise, speaking family-wise, I mean, and I'm sure it's the same everywhere, but kids are going online to do, their school work online. And, I got 3 boys, and, we're grateful they're fortunate. They got the iPads and they get the homework, and, they start chugging away early morning hours and doing that. But it's a little bit unusual for us to see them at home. And there's no break for me. We're an essentials company, so I get to go into work. I am happy. I am very thankful for that. As a matter of fact, wife is doing good. It's just a different set of routines for her and for family here. Now, as far as the employees worldwide, we're operational. We're working. I think the audience will be happy to know that our facilities, all 6 of them here in India, are fully functional. Utah's been operating great. We haven't seen any slowdown. In fact, we've only seen it increase, and that's always a good thing. But it's also something that we have to be very mindful of and very careful of as we kind of go through these murky times. But we're 100% operational. We're glad to be. And going a little bit further down that road is, what about our farmers, right? Where do we get our material from, right? So probably jumping ahead with probably something you had in mind to ask me. But yeah, the farmers are active. They're doing well. We've been in touch with them. It's one of those things that we're going to have to see how the government here in India plays this out, especially when it comes to migrant workers and how affected that part of India, the northern part of India, gets affected with a lot of migrant labor going on in the farmlands. We don't have that so much so down here in the south, but it's going to be interesting how that turns out. But that being said, the farmers are doing good. The Sabinsa family of employees are doing good. It was chaotic when the first lockdown happened. About 3 weeks ago, I think April 15th, we go into that 3-week period. And I don't know if you know, or if your audience will know by the time this airs, India has now extended it into May 3. So May 3rd is the extension point of India's lockdown. So it'll be foolish to say that, no, we didn't know that. Yeah, I think we kind of knew that, that April 15th, people were just going to come outside and party. This has to be a phased in operation, and I think that's what we're seeing. But overall, doing well, staying operational, and staying well. Thank you.
Yeah, no, it's good to hear. Some people may know it, others may not, but I got to spend some time with you and the Sabinsa family there in India a few years back when we did a video project working with you, and had the privilege of driving down south, first seeing all your facilities there in Bangalore, but then driving down south to Salem to see these farmers and, these beautiful, very small farms where they're growing all the different materials for you guys, whether it's turmeric or the tulsi, the holy basil, or coleus, or all of these things. And wonderful people. They came out and greeted us, got to spend a full day with them. And so, yeah, you're right. My thoughts were going there, hoping that they're doing all right. But I also know what I learned on that trip is the commitment that you and Sabinsa have to those farmers. And it comes out in a lot of different ways. Of course, there's the economic side of buying the materials and all that, but it's, helping them with the technology on the farms. These are very small farms, but helping them to maximize their productivity, whether it's with water or best practices, even getting into things like schools and healthcare in the communities and all that. So I have to believe that they're doing as good as they can be doing to have a partner like you guys out there that they can count on.
Yeah, thank you. You actually touched upon 2 points, so I want to kind of respond to that really quick. One, about driving. Actually, if you were here this time around, I would drive you personally because I got this COVID-19 Essentials car pass, and if I get a chance, I'll take a snapshot of it and send it over to you so you can see it in an email or a picture at least. And it's plastered on the window of my car. And there are a lot of checkpoints, a lot of police checkpoints, and they'll stop and take a look at the sticker and then match it with your license plate. And if you obviously you have it because you're an essential business or an essential workforce person, so they let you go. The roads are so empty, John. I've been driving here. I know that sounds scary, but fortunately none of the other people are out there, so they're okay. It's one of those weird things I never thought I'd drive in India. You've seen it.
Oh, I've seen it. Yeah, empty roads in India just seems impossible to me, but these days, right?
Right, exactly. And so the second point is, with our farmers, the villages are extremely, I guess the right word is paranoid, and they have every right to be. I mean, if you think about it, one person comes out of the village, gets infected, and they go back into that village. There aren't those quality controls, if you will, in a village to essentially quarantine someone. I mean, where are they going to stay, right? So the practicality of it is very different, and the police and the villages, they know that. So sometimes these villages go into extreme lockdown, and that can be kind of scary because from a monetary or financial standpoint, they can't get out, they can't spend money, nor can they get goods into their village. So that's a little bit scary. It's a bit tricky. They're working through that even during these 3 weeks, believe it or not. But more of it is getting cleaned up and cleared up. And so what I was saying earlier about that first couple of days into that first week, it was pretty chaotic. One, to get the passes for the right types of people who are supposed to get the passes. One, to get the transportation goods on the road so they can be delivered, they can be picked up, they can be used by the people. That took some time, and we were there throughout. We had the essential car passes early on. So if we had to go deliver something to the farms and get them sanitation, get them sanitizers, get them some of our supplements, we were out there doing that. We don't talk about it much. We're not going to publish that. It's just something we just felt we have to reach out to them and see how they're doing. This is the best things we could offer at this point. Now goods are starting to flow in, so that's great news. Like I said, that's how we're keeping the factories operational. But those are the 2 points I really wanted to touch on with your comments. So.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate it. Like I say, I had a chance to meet a lot of those people personally, wonderful people, and that's great to hear. And thanks for being the way you are with your supply chain and the farmers and all that. Moving from the farms through the whole process, your R&D process. That's one of the things that historically your company was founded in 1988. You have a treasure trove of intellectual property and things that you've developed with these botanicals and other specialty ingredients. Is any of that changing? I know that this is all new, right? This just happened. We're still all sorting it out. There is no new normal yet. But how is this impacting your focus and your R&D process, this whole pandemic situation?
That's a great question. And I'm going to begin by saying that we're not shifting to a new normal because it's happening, right? We're not taking counteractive measures here. There are things in our portfolio that have that's getting its calling, if you will. Needless to say, turmeric, right? Curcumin, been around for ages. My father, Dr. Majeed, patented back in the early 90s. Got 100+ publications dedicated to looking at all kinds of, diseases and indications. Though we don't say that because of FDA, our dietary supplement industry. You know what it's good for. You can see the studies and the results yourself. But it does work for immune. We have a host of other ingredients that have targeted immune. Even our own probiotic, our lactospore, targets immune. Ashwagandha. There's so many different ingredients that we developed in the early, late 80s, early 90s that are now getting its true calling, if you will. And that's great. And that's absolutely fine. We're fortunate that we can keep our R&D labs open. We have to practice safe distancing measurements by the government standards and our own policy as well at the company. So we've taken somewhat of a shift-based approach in some of the R&D work, and some of the projects will get multiple people to handle it over the course of a few days instead of one person handling it every day. So there are these nuances that we're working out. They've been fine so far, and we're going to streamline that even better and further as we go along. But yeah, looking at virus and virology, that study, and I had a quick conversation with Dr. Majeed. He's very interested in that. It's something that he's been thinking about way before this. And maybe this is what he feels is his true calling, to come in and start taking a look at this at a deeper level. Remember, he's an industrial pharmacist by degree. I think he knows this language a lot better than anybody else. He can have access to a lot of people around the world that understands virus and how it works. Now, whether he comes down the Ayurvedic pipeline and looking at traditional medicines, yes, he's very much going to keep that open and stay true to that. That's what he's very well known for. But his pharmaceutical side is going to lead down the drug development and drug discovery side as well. So I'm not here to say that, hey, listen, we have a supplement or a miracle pill. And I'm not here to say we're going to become the next big drug company that's going to have a great product. But what I am here to say is that our R&D is focused on the things and the items that we have today. We're going to make them better. We're going to make them more pronounced so that you can have access to it. We're also going to search for the future, because this is not going to end, John. This virus is just one of many that's yet to come. Yeah. Whether we believe it's animals or it's man-made, whatever that is, Mother Nature, whatever you feel or the audience feels it is, there's more. There's more to this, and there's probably more coming. So you might as well have a quality supply company, an R&D focused company, take a look at this and dig deeper.
Yeah, absolutely agree. And it, I believe in the power of plants and natural medicine, whether they are for foods or for dietary supplements or for drugs. And we know that a lot of pharmaceutical approved drugs can trace their history to a plant or something in the natural world where a substance or something was observed or discovered. And so, yeah, I think that there's a lot of opportunity there, and appreciate the investment that Sabinsa is going to make in that, along with many others around the world, looking at all these options to try and find solutions to help keep people healthy and deal with these challenges that we're facing. One last question for you, Shaheen, because I know that it's a challenging time right now. It's everybody uses the word unprecedented to the point that I've heard it, but it is. It's unprecedented. There's a lot of fear and a lot of uncertainty out there, a lot of suffering out there, and it's easy to get wrapped up in that, and it can be tough to get through that. What keeps you going? What keeps you positive as we work our way through all this stuff?
So I think in general, an overview of how we can affect health. You know, when we think about health and we connect the emotions around it, whether it's for yourself, whether it's for someone you love, there are an amazing amount of emotions attached to health. And we're one small part to affect that for you, to affect that emotion for you. And I know I probably sound philosophical and probably, going over some people's heads. And what do you mean? Foods are great, but the lifestyle that we live in, we have to supplement. And we're part of that. And I love being able to deliver a product that will supplement some part of your life, which will ultimately lead to an emotion that either makes you feel better, look better, maybe even eat better. And then that trickles down to a family member, to someone you love, and then they trickle that down. Affecting that keeps me going. That's one part. The other part is the entire Sabinsa, the entire Summy Sabinsa family. Being in an essentials company, I mean, let's just say this honestly, we never said an essentials company probably ever before March, right? I mean, we never started talking about the word essentials, but now we realize, yeah, we are essential.
Yeah.
That essential part for me, and I know for my father as well, how many people's jobs we're going to be able to keep, and probably how many more people's jobs we're going to be able to produce because of the type of business that we're in. And so that keeps me going. I know it's tough. I know coming into work, it can be fearful. I know going home, right, from that work can be fearful. It's just the times we live in. But that gratitude that both that I have, my family has, and the employees have, that we're in this together and we'll come and build something bigger and better, that keeps me going. There's a host of other things, but I think these two things to tell you and to tell your audience, and if that can sink in and affect someone, that means the world to me.
Well, I know that it's sincere. I know you, and I know your father well, Dr. Majeed, and appreciate your sincerity, your humbleness. And this is really, I know this is a calling for you and for the whole Sabinsa team here. So more than ever, just happy that you're here, and wishing you the best, both in health and wellness, but in business success. You're right. We will get through this. Our industry will get through this. Our economies will get through this. Our nations will get through this. And I believe that we will come out of it stronger, and good things. As much as right now it seems like tragedy, as we get through it, good things will come from this. People will learn more to be healthy, how to care for each other, the importance of being connected. Even though you and I are thousands of miles apart, just being here connected with you today is making me happy and lowering my heart rate a little bit in these stressful times. So I'm with you. Let's be positive, and let's focus on the future, and let's do everything we can do to help each other out.
Absolutely, John. I'm totally with you. I sign off now as stay well, stay immune.
All right, buddy. I will talk to you soon. I cannot wait to share another meal with you, whether it's out there in India or here in Phoenix or somewhere in between. Looking forward to that day, man.
Same here, John. Thanks so much, buddy.
All right. Take care, Shaheen.